Welcome, this is Martial Arts World Radio, and I'm Joseph Clark. Thank you very much, and greetings to our social media live stream video viewers. Tonight's guests for our show are UFC bantamweight fighter Patrick Williams, former world kickboxing and boxing champion, as well as former world taekwondo champion FREDIA GIBBS, and action cinema actor, fight choreographer, and weapons expert Anthony Longis. Martial Arts World Radio connects with audiences through distinctive and compelling guests and content across radio, online, and mobile platforms. If you would like to add your station to our network, or if you would like to advertise on the show and sponsor our celebrity fighter interviews, reach out to me at producer@mawradio.com. For those of you joining us on the live video stream, this is Martial Arts World Radio. I'm Joseph Clark. We're going to get the show going in about 4 minutes time after some news and weather for our live radio broadcast. Tonight's guests are UFC bantamweight fighter Patrick Williams, former world kickboxing and boxing champion, as well as former world taekwondo champion FREDIA GIBBS, and action cinema actor, fight choreographer, and weapons expert Anthony Longis. Today's interviews are brought to you by Kyani independent distributor Daniel Gerage. Kyani is a leading provider of all natural health and wellness products that provide athletes with faster post-training recovery and energy. Endorsed by professional fighters and celebrity martial artists Josh Tyler, Manny Pacquiao, and even Jackie Chan. Reach out to Daniel Gerage for more info at kyanihealthaustralia@gmail.com. Don't let the Australia throw you. He does business all over the world. That's Kyani, Kyani, healthaustralia@gmail.com, or Skype Daniel at that exact same address on Skype, kyanihealthaustralia@gmail.com. This is Martial Arts World Radio. I'm Joseph Clark. We're going to get the show underway in 3 minutes time after a bit of news and weather. Our interviews are also brought to you by ketone specialist Regan Bremersh. Keto OS is leading a modern health revolution through therapeutic ketone technology. Mix this great natural 100% bioidentical ketone powder into a 16-ounce bottle of cold water for a great tasting drink for peak performance. Within 15 to 30 minutes, you'll be in the optimal training and fight state of ketosis. He doesn't just say it will do it, he can prove it. For more information, contact Regan at 1-204-522-0733. Once again, you can text or call Regan at 1-204-522-0733 or visit proveittoday.ca. That's PRUVIT2day.ca. This is Martial Arts World Radio. Our show is going to be underway in 2 minutes time. Our guests are UFC bantamweight fighter Patrick Williams, former world kickboxing and boxing champion, as well as former taekwondo champion FREDIA GIBBS, and action cinema actor, fight choreographer, and weapons expert Anthony Longis. I have a few items for you to check out online. Check out bobwallworldblackbelt.com, the world's foremost online martial arts and MMA marketplace. Also, check out Prospect Fighting Championships at prospectfights.com. Lastly, Google the books The Tao of MMA and 21st Century Perspectives on Martial Arts. Both books are available to Amazon by searching The Tao of MMA and 21st Century Perspectives on Martial Arts. This is Martial Arts World Radio. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joseph Clark, and we're going to get the show underway in about 1 minute time. Okay, let's switch the microphones over.
Examining a ruling that blocks the administration from temporarily barring new visas for citizens of Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. From the Canadian Press, I'm Lori Paris.
No, that's fine. That doesn't matter. Just, that's not the microphone, that's the headset. What? Should be fine.
See all of our inventory at LeslieMotors.com. Whether it's new or pre-owned, every vehicle is listed with pictures and incentives.
If only we could teleport our vehicles like they did on Star Trek. What? Visit Leslie Motors in Harrison, Walkerton, and Wingham, or LeslieMotors.com. A pleasant drive from anywhere.
For tonight, partly cloudy, wind from the northwest at 20 kilometers, gusting to 40. A low of -2 with patchy frost areas. Into Tuesday, calling for a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 9 degrees. Cloudy periods overnight, a low of +2. The rest of the week, much the same. Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud, high of 10. For Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 11. And Friday, more sun and cloud and a high of 13 degrees.
The Hanover Legion Ladies Auxiliary is having another of their lunches. This takes place on Friday, May the 12th, and the menu will be a sausage noodle casserole that includes dessert and coffee for only $8 and takes place from 11:30 to 1 p.m. at the Hanover Legion.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and not necessarily those of Blue Water Radio.
Martial Arts World Radio is brought to you by Bruce County Combat and Fitness in Walkerton. Check out the full list of classes at brucecountycombat.com.
This is UFC fighter Jason Sacco. You are now listening to Martial Arts World Radio with Joseph Clark.
Welcome to Martial Arts World Radio. I'm your host, Joseph Clark. Each episode, we feature the biggest names in martial arts and combat sports, from the UFC, Bellator, and the Olympics, as well as martial arts legends, pioneers, and cinema stars, as we share best practices and philosophies, using martial arts as a metaphor for perseverance through life's challenges, for the pursuit of personal excellence, and for victory in competition. Over the next hour, I will feature my interviews with UFC bantamweight fighter Patrick Williams, with former world kickboxing and boxing champion, as well as former world taekwondo champion FREDIA GIBBS, and with action cinema actor, fight choreographer, and weapons expert Anthony Longis. Martial Arts World Radio connects with audiences through distinctive and compelling guests and content across radio, online, and mobile platforms. If you would like to add your station to our network, or if you would like to advertise on the show and sponsor our celebrity fighter interviews, reach out to me at producer@mawradio.com. This week's inspirational quote is from Rickson Gracie and goes as follows: "A brave man, a real fighter, is not measured by how many times he falls, but how many times he stands up." Rickson Gracie, Brazilian 8th degree black and red belt, and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and retired mixed martial artist. Today's interviews are brought to you by Kyani independent distributor Daniel Girej. Kyani is a leading provider of all-natural health and wellness products that provide athletes with faster post-training recovery and energy. Endorsed by professional fighters and celebrity martial artists Josh Tyler, Manny Pacquiao, and Jackie Chan, reach out to Daniel for more info at kyanihealthaustralia@gmail.com. Don't let the Australia throw you. He does business all over the world. That's kyanihealthaustralia@gmail.com, or Skype Daniel at the exact same address on Skype, Kyani, Kyani, Health Australia @gmail.com. Our interviews are also brought to you by ketone specialist Regan Bremersh. Keto OS is leading a modern health revolution through therapeutic ketone technology. Mix this great natural 100% bioidentical ketone powder into a 16-ounce bottle of cold water for a great tasting drink for peak performance. Within 15 to 30 minutes, you'll be in the optimal training and fight state of ketosis. He doesn't just say it can do it, he can prove it. For more information, contact Regan at 1-204-522-0733. Again, you can text or phone Regan at 1-204-522-0733 or visit proveittoday.ca. That's pruvit, PRUVIT, number 2, DAY.ca. Patrick Williams is a bantamweight fighter in the UFC. With a record of 8 wins and 5 losses, he is 35 years of age, 5 foot 8 inches, 135 pounds, and fights out of Homestead, Florida. Patrick emphasizes that his training sessions always begin and end with mental conditioning. Speaking to us from Homestead, Florida, Patrick Williams. Patrick, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Patrick, walk us through when you got the initial call from the UFC offering you your first fight. How did that go down?
Boy, that first call, for me, it was unexpected. I was thinking that I was going to have to do 3 or 4 more fights. I just came off of a spectacular win over a backup from American Top Team. And I remember I couldn't get a fight for 6 months. And I was lazy and ended up not training. So I've been off the mat, wasn't training for 6 months, and all of a sudden my agent calls me out of nowhere. And they asked me, well, they tell me first, they was like, hey, we have some news, and some good news and bad news. The good news is we got you a fight for the UFC. So in my head, I'm thinking, what type of bad news can there be from that?
That's right.
And they told me it was in 2.5 weeks, and it's at 135 pounds.
Oh boy.
So it was a big surprise for me. I had to pretty much jump on the scale from that point on and get my weight off. I was almost 170 pounds, not training for 6 months. And that was pretty much my preparation.
Patrick, how is fighting in the UFC different from fighting in other fight promotion organizations?
It's different.
Would you run over and check that it's recording?
Elementary and going to a huge university. It
is
totally different. The amount of people that's there, the way the promotion is ran, it's top notch.
And I mean, you must be encountering all sorts of people, Dana White and other fighters that you've been watching up until now, maybe even some fighters that have been inspirations for you. There must be times where you're in absolute awe.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I'm in awe. But right now, I'm at the point where everything is kind of settled in, and now I'm looking at focusing my energy and my time on making people become in awe of me when they see me, trying to be that diamond in the sport.
Well said, well said. Now, I do have to ask, I'd like you to share 2 experiences with us. One of them is the bad news, one of them is the good news. So let's get the bad news out of the way first. Walk us through the experience of getting knocked out by a flying knee. That was Chris Beal, UFC 172. Just, can you walk us through that a little bit?
Okay. All right, a little history class. Well, that fight, for the beginning of the fight, it was kind of hectic. I didn't get my gloves on until minutes before I went out. Didn't get to warm up. I had the jitters. Like I said, I previously didn't train for 6 months.
Sure.
So when I walked out there, everything went smooth. I was trying to get the feel of the match.
Okay.
Took him down real easy, took him down again, and at the end of the first round, he pushed off of my head, and his fingers went knuckle deep in my eyes. And from that point, the match kind of switched for me. I was pretty much running away because I couldn't see. I was blind in both of my eyes, and that right there, I think, was probably more brutal than a knockout, because to me in my head, I was thinking, I finally make it to the UFC, and I'm on the big stage, and I can't see.
Sure.
So I go back to my corner, and I tell my coach, hey, what's wrong with my eyes? I can't see. I guess because of the adrenaline, I wasn't paying attention. So I remember going out in the second round, and I remember stooping down because I couldn't see him. It was like looking underwater. And I was waiting to grab him so I could take him to the ground and try to finish the fight there. And I guess as he touched my arms, I moved my head in, and he placed a perfectly timed flying knee. And it just gave me a quick flash knockout. As soon as I landed, I woke up, I knew what happened. But it was bittersweet. But I made sure that my next fight, I was going to be more than prepared.
Exactly. And you won a TKO decision over Sebastian Angel in which you broke his jaw. Tell us a little bit about that victory.
That was a crazy fight. I remember they couldn't find an opponent, and they ended up finding someone that's been training. I think it was like 2 weight classes up, and he was just huge. And I remember my coaches looking over and was asking me, you know, you think you should do this? This guy is like huge. But I went ahead and I believed in my skills. I went out there, and just my movement and fluidity was hard for him to keep up with. And I believe I caught him with a knee that dropped him. And I think his jaw was broken early on in the fight. But as we were going, I remember the 10-second belt, the 10-second knock go off, and I just followed him down and kicked him straight to the jaw. So in between the knee and the kick, I don't know which strike broke his jaw.
Patrick, at what age did you get into martial arts?
You know, I've always been a big believer in becoming a ninja. I guess all the kids when they're younger, you know, they want to be a ninja.
Sure.
Growing up in the 80s, you know, watching Bruce Lee, they were always my idol. I always looked up to them. So I was always trying to train and become faster, stronger, cat-like abilities. So I think that right there planted the seeds to me becoming who I am today.
Tell us about Arizona State University.
Big school, party school, number one party school in the nation at the time I went there.
What degree did you get?
What's that?
What degree did you get?
I ended up getting a sociology and family studies degree. I wrestled there as well. D1. Ended up placing for nationals 2 times. I wrestled with C.B. Galloway, Ryan Bader, Cain Velasquez, also Clifford Starks, Aaron Simpson, who was my coach, Tom Ortiz, who was my coach as well, and just a whole list of other top athletes, John Moraga. And after I graduated, I've seen these guys, you know, performing well in mixed martial arts.
Yep.
So I figured that
We're on time. We've got about 5 minutes more of talk time.
Sociology, I find that very interesting. Family studies.
We'll be
Why
on.
family studies?
6 minutes, 45 seconds.
Coming from a home where,
Good, thank you.
you know, family is always important, but you always see those family struggles. And then growing up, knowing that I made it, and seeing a lot of other troubled youth
Ask you later.
that end up in gangs, drug abuse, and veering off the path of life, I figured I can somewhat give something back to them, maybe share my story or have something to maybe one day turn a troubled youth into a future UFC star.
Now, you said other troubled youths. Were you a troubled youth?
No, my grandma did well at raising me. I was raised by my grandma. She did a good job. You know, from her, I seen her. I grew up and took witness to her hard work and dedication, and that kind of helped me stay on the right path.
Patrick, why were you raised by your grandma?
Well, at a young age, my mom, she had her little problems going through life, and I actually had a problem as well. When I was a baby, for some reason the doctors couldn't find a way to have me keep calories in.
Okay.
And the doctors pretty much said that was going to be it for me, that there was nothing else they could do. They formulated a lot of formulas so I can gain weight, but none of it worked. So my father, he ended up giving me to my grandmother, and she's Jamaican. And I was raised by her, and she fattened me up real nice.
I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Your grandmother sounds like an amazing woman.
She was great.
Do you still
Hardworking immigrant.
a hardworking immigrant?
Yep.
Do you still have a relationship with your parents?
I see my relationship got better with my mom as I've gotten older. And my father, I speak to him every now and then. Right now he's in Jamaica. Been planning a trip to go see him and do some fatherly bonding with him as well. Father-son bonding.
And did you have any siblings, or were you an only child?
Oh, my mom had 10 kids. I was number 2 in line. And my dad had 5.
Very, very interesting. And do you think this contributed to your choice of the degree when you decided to take sociology and family studies?
Maybe subliminally, it may have. But I'm all about helping out and trying to bring out the best in everyone.
Patrick, what's your relationship like with your siblings? Do you keep in touch with these other 10 siblings, or these other 9 children in the family?
Well, actually, this year, 2 months ago, I met one of my brothers that I've never met before. It was great. It was an amazing moment. And hopefully soon I'll unite with all my with a couple of my other brothers that I have yet to see.
And at Arizona State University, you wrestled with Clifford Starks. Clifford Starks has been a guest on this show, another UFC fighter.
Yep. Cliff's the big red dog. Great guy, amazing guy.
Starks.
He is an amazing guy. Patrick, who has been your toughest opponent to date in your fight career?
Oh, that's a good question. I think my toughest opponent has been myself. Losing a couple of fights where I felt I shouldn't have lost. As far as toughest fight, I believe all my fights were somewhat easy. They ended up like one fight I ended up getting knocked out. One I ended up getting choked, but they were more from my mistakes.
Sure.
So it's hard to say.
Does a UFC fighter have much time for a social life?
Well, I'm beginning one myself. I'm actually going to be working soon and fighting, trying to juggle both, and juggle being a father and my social life as well.
Well, congratulations on being a father. So what are your future plans? What are your hopes and dreams and your goals?
Well, right now in the short term, it's to heal up and hopefully get back in the octagon as soon as possible. I'm looking at towards the beginning of 2017. I really want to make 2017 my year. I have a lot to show the fans, and I'm ready to convince them to spend their hard-earned cash to come watch me display my arts. And I look forward on dominating at hopefully multiple weight classes. Right now I'm shooting for 125 and 135. If that goes well, I'll shoot up to 145 and 155.
Patrick, our final question for you for this evening, it always goes by very, very quickly, but before we bring our interview to a close, any advice for our listeners who have hopes to one day fight in the UFC?
Biggest advice I can give you is keep believing in your art. Go in the gym every day. Go through all of your stuff with a fine-tuned comb, a fine-tooth comb, and sharpen up on your skills. And continually to believe that you have what it takes. And eventually, one day you're going to break through. If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be next year. And surrounding yourself with positive people in the gym that's going to help you
15 seconds.
Become the best. And watch a lot of film.
Patrick, we must bring this interview to a close. I appreciate your time today, and I'm grateful for your insights. All the best to you, and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Patrick's favorite grappling technique is the guillotine, and his favorite strike is the flying knee. He has gone on record that fighting in the UFC is a life-changing opportunity, and his daughters. This has been an interview with UFC fighter Patrick Williams.
Combat and Fitness in Walkerton offers recreational and competitive kickboxing and boxing classes for children and adults, as well as yoga classes. Your first class is always free to try. Bruce County Combat and Fitness offers single monthly memberships for as low as $45 and $67 for a family. Their drop-in fees are only $7 for most classes and just $5 for yoga and Little Warriors. Check out their full schedule at brucecountycombat.com. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They also sell a full range of fight gear and apparel.
Here's Mark and Don Leslie from Leslie Motors.
Hey Mark, do you remember that song, "We're Here for a Good Time, Not a Long Time"? Yeah, what about it? Well, I was just thinking that's the way people might think when they're buying a car. No one really enjoys the experience. We're here for a good time. Hey Mark, focus. Just think, Leslie Motors makes buying a car more of a joy than a chore. Just like the song says, when you visit Leslie Motors, you want to be there for a good time, not a long time. Exactly.
Visit Leslie Motors in Walkerton, Harrison, and Wingham. A pleasant drive from anywhere.
Tired of hard water wreaking havoc around your home? Dry skin and lifeless hair? Dull and dingy laundry? Soap scum and spotted glasses too?
Hey, Culligan Man! A Culligan water softener turns hard water soft every time. Soft water is the answer. Not cleaning products or detergents. Culligan saves you up to 50% on soaps and detergents while turning your laundry, bathroom, and kitchen brilliant, like me. Hey, Culligan Man!
Eating 5 to 10 servings of vegetables and fruits each day as part of a healthy diet helps to reduce the risk of cancer, heart disease, and stroke. So how do you measure a serving? Well, if it fits in your hand, it's probably a serving. A banana, some broccoli, a pear, it all adds up. For information, tips, and recipes, visit 5to10aday.com or call 1-888-939-3333. A message from the Canadian Cancer Society and the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada.
91.3 FM.
Our community, your station. Radio is brought to you by Bruce County Combat and Fitness in Walkerton. Check out the full list of classes at brucecountycombat.com. Bruce County Combat and Fitness in Walkerton offers recreational and competitive kickboxing and boxing classes for children and adults, as well as yoga classes. Your first class is always free to try. Bruce County Combat and Fitness offers single monthly memberships for as low as $45 and $67 for a family. Their drop-in fees are only $7 for most classes and just $5 for yoga and Little Warriors. Check out their full schedule at brucecountycombat.com. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They also sell a full range of fight gear and apparel.
Hi, my name is Tom Lee. You're listening to Arts World Radio with Joseph Clark.
I have a few items for you to check out online. Check out bobwallworldblackbelt.com, the world's foremost online martial arts and MMA marketplace. Also, check out Prospect Fighting Championships at prospectfights.com. Lastly, Google the books The Tao, T-A-O, The Tao of MMA, and 21st Century Perspectives on Martial Arts. Both books are available at Amazon by searching The Tao of MMA and 21st Century Perspectives on Martial Arts. Our interview with former world champion FREDIA Gibbs is brought to you by Kyani independent distributor Daniel Girage. Kyani is a leading provider of all-natural health and wellness products that provide athletes with faster post-training recovery and energy. Endorsed by professional fighters and celebrity martial artists Josh Tyler, Manny Pacquiao, and Jackie Chan, reach out to Daniel for more info at kyanihealthaustralia@gmail.com or Skype Daniel at that exact same address on Skype, Kyani, K-Y-A-N-I, kyanihealthaustralia@gmail.com. FREDIA the Cheetah Gibbs, born July 8, 1963, is the first African-American female kickboxing champion. She earned the name the most dangerous woman in the world after an all-time upset in 1994 with her fight against Valerie Hennon. Gibbs went on to become one of the most dominant champions of her time and remains a significant historical figure in lightweight kickboxing history. She is a former Muay Thai kickboxer, a 3-time world champion in kickboxing, a 3-time former world Taekwondo champion, and a professional boxer who competed from 1991 to 2005. She fought in the lightweight division out of North Hollywood, California. She is 5 foot 7 inches, 135 pounds.
FREDIA, what a privilege for us to welcome you to the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be on the show. How are you?
I'm well. We're excited to have you on the show. Now, FREDIA, tell us about your fight with Valerie Henning.
Well, that fight with Valerie Henning, that's a good one. Yeah, Valerie Henning, she's from France, and she was considered the most dangerous woman in the world. She was coming to America to do her American debut, and she wanted to fight the toughest woman in Northern America, and they found me. We fought on pay-per-view in front of about 1 or 2.5 million people. Obviously, I was the underdog, and I knocked her out in the third round. That was pretty exciting. That's when I made history.
That is pretty exciting, and that is history making. What a feeling that must have been.
I can't even describe it, Joseph. I mean, it was something that I never expected, but it happened. It was just an unbelievable, just a phenomenal feeling. That's the only thing that I can say. I'll never forget it.
Please share your experience with us working with Will Smith on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You didn't knock him out.
Oh, yeah, I did knock him out, throw him around. I didn't knock him out, but I threw him around a little bit. Yeah, he and I had known Will back in Philadelphia prior to him coming to Los Angeles. But, we connected and we worked together on the show, Boxing Helena for, 2 weeks. So it really gave us a chance to bond. And then we went ahead and produced the show. And it was pretty fun working the gym scene with him and Alonzo. It was cool.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Chester, Pennsylvania, Fairground Projects. Yeah, in Chester, PA. Absolutely.
How did you discover that you wanted to be a kickboxer?
Well, that's a very good question. It happened by, let's say, accident. And I wouldn't say accident, but I grew up in the Fairground Projects. And in fact, I wrote a book, but, I was bullied a lot as a young kid, really young and skinny. And, I was running a lot from them. But to make a long story short, my uncle, he was a master at a martial arts school called Quiet Storm. And he came and got me. He heard that I was being bullied. He came and got me. He said, listen, we're going to take you to the martial arts school and we're going to build your self-confidence and self-esteem. And I want to know what does that mean, self-confidence? What does self-esteem mean? So, he gave me a dictionary, found out self-confidence is freedom from doubt, believe in yourself and your ability. Okay, so that was pretty cool to focus on while working on the techniques. But that's how it all came about. The self-confidence, and the next thing I know, I'm sparring with all these guys, and at a very young age, and they made me really, really, really good. They really made me really, really good.
As a young woman entering combat sports back in that era, what were some of the challenges you faced?
Some of the challenges during that era, I think, in karate, I fought a lot, but in kickboxing, I fought a lot as well. I think basically just being a black female in a male-dominated sport, mixed martial arts, was one of the challenges that I had encountered. But it gave me the opportunity to break color barriers, and not only that, but training with the guys all the time, and being the only female, it also gave me the opportunity to become #1 in the world.
And you just remarked, you said a black female in that era. So was it enough of a challenge to be a female, but was it additionally a challenge because you were a black female?
Yeah, it was. I didn't think so, but, because I don't think that way, because my great-grandma, she's Caucasian, but it just happens, and that's it. And it's pretty cool because also breaking color barriers, Joseph, it gave me the opportunity to be the first to open up doors for young African-American men and females and others, of course, and let them know that, it can be done. It can be done. That makes sense?
It makes perfect sense. So, FREDIA, we're going to get to present time in a moment, but this is just great stuff. Take us back to your very first kickboxing match. Walk us through the experience, the emotions, the excitement. What was that like?
Wow, okay, yeah, I'll never forget that. Jeez Louise, I was in the locker room and all of a sudden something formed over me. I don't know if it was energy, nerves, or whatever. but I just remember entering and don't remember anything after that but leaving.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you, when I saw photos, that's it. I just literally, I don't know. But that was my very first kickboxing experience ever.
What was the outcome?
The outcome? Oh, I won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because it kind of sounded like you got knocked out the way you described it, but I didn't think you had, so I had to ask.
Joseph, keep in mind, my record was 16-0 with one draw, and one draw was against a guy, but it was 16-0 with 15 knockouts. Okay? So that's how, remember, I did beat the most dangerous woman in the world. Remember that, okay? So you don't earn those kind of titles by losing.
No, you don't. Do you prefer kickboxing or boxing?
I prefer kickboxing. Reason being, and I prefer kickboxing today. Mixed martial arts. I'm a mixed martial artist, period. It is what it is compared to boxing. Mixed martial arts, it makes perfect sense. When we're in war, when we're combating, why should we only use 2 weapons? When we're combating, we are supposed to use all of our weapons. That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense. Have you ever had to use your fighting skills in the street?
Yeah, I have. And what's interesting, I never ever start anything. I don't. But there has come a few times where I had to, close it, shut it down. Yes, I did. At a club, I'll never forget my buddy and I, Shuki Rosenberg, we were at this party watching this band, and someone came along, a group of girls came along, and I caught myself stepping aside to allow them to go ahead and pass by, and one of them took my seat.
Uh-oh, bad move.
I know, that's what Shuki said. I was like, excuse me. She was like, not anymore, not your seat anymore. Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
what is it if these street brawls start from the pettiest things?
Yeah, I know, it's unfortunate.
It is.
But and what gets me is, like, for example, Joe, if you're martial arts yourself,
yes.
If people know that you are a tough behind, you are tough, you are a deadly weapon, why would you want to test somebody that you can't beat? Like, for example, me.
Yeah, silly.
You have people out there who just want to test you.
So let's change direction for a moment. Let's talk about your radio show.
Okay, well, yeah, it is in Los Angeles. It's just launched a radio show. It's called The World of Sports with Cheetah, Sports and Entertainment with Cheetah. And basically, it's geared to award athletes, obviously, sports and various different sports, martial arts. But I mean, boxing and boxing and golf and track and field and wrestling and different things like that. So I just want to be the sports in general. But it's great to get to interview, these young kids growing up, this new breed of hustlers growing up and about to step into the championship world, and also to interview the champions who are in the world and, are just able to become role models and leaders for these up-and-coming stars,
And Fredia, you've got video. So first of all, do you have a website for the show?
Yeah, I do have my Twitter page and my Facebook page at this particular point in time. That's the website for the show.
Okay.
It's World of Sports World of Sports with Cheetah.
World of Sports with Cheetah.
That's the Facebook page there.
Okay. And then you have video on YouTube as well, I believe, don't you? Or you have video feeds from your show?
Sports with Cheetah, FREDIA GIBBS, on YouTube. That's where we are. Yep.
Okay, so World of Sports with Cheetah. Look for it on YouTube as well. Fredia, I understand that you were inducted into a Hall of Fame recently. Would you share that with us?
Oh, yeah, wow. Absolutely. In my hometown, Chester, PA,
okay.
2016 Hall of Fame, the 440 relay team at my hometown, my high school, we had a track and field record that stood for 108 years at 10 relays. And I don't know if you are aware of 10 relays, but 10 relays is you got to Google it. It's a place where all the great runners in the world come together in Philadelphia. They happen in each state. Come together in Philadelphia, and we compete against each other. But so this was really something unbelievable, the magnitude. We didn't even realize the magnitude until years later. But we broke a record that stood for 108 years at 10 relays, and we won gold medals. And they inducted us yesterday in Concorville, Pennsylvania, into the Hall of Fame, in addition to the other girls on the team. So that was pretty cool. Chester High School Hall of Fame athletic program. That was really nice of them.
Congratulations. That is really nice of them and well-deserved.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt, I appreciate that.
Fredia, has being a fighter affected your romantic relationships?
You could sort of, not really. You know, being an athlete, you can get what you want, when you want, and how you want it. You know, it's just real easy. Things are accessible.
And did you ever go through an ego phase where you let the victories go to your head, or where you were humbled, or did you always maintain your humility through your fight career?
Yeah, I've always maintained my humility, the majority, at least 99.9% of the time, but I have had an opportunity to have a couple wake-up calls. And I'll never forget, it was Yvonne Trevino. For some reason, we were fighting in kickboxing in Simi Valley, and for some reason, oh yeah, that was my fight before Valerie Henning. So I was really fired up, and I was all in her face talking stuff, and she just stood and looked at me. And she almost knocked me out in the first round. I tell you, she really beat me up that first round. That was a real wake-up call.
That was a wake-up call, wasn't it?
Yeah, after that fight, Joseph, I've always been humble, and it's always the best way because you never know.
Experienced many injuries throughout your career.
Yeah, I did in boxing. More so in boxing, where I encountered the injuries, and primarily with my hands, because
is that right?
You can't mix it up, hands and feet and knees and elbows. So you're constantly injuring your hands. So yeah, in boxing, I had a fight against Samaya Nadi, and Samaya Nadi is one of the girls who destroyed Christy Martin. She beat the mess out of Christy Martin. And I fought Samaya, and Samaya put a couple girls in comas too, Joseph, just so you know.
No kidding.
Yeah, for real. But she and I, we fought on ESPN. I had injured my thumb, my hands prior to the show. I should not have taken a show. That would have been a better executive decision, but I did it because I had already committed and I didn't want to let anybody down.
Sure.
Maya and I, we fought, and I punched her one time, everything got black, and it was it. I just decided to call the fight off. But yes.
Do you have any advice for our listeners on how to train through the injuries or heal, without losing their edge?
The best advice that I could give is, one, if you're injured, take care of the injury and focus on conditioning. And, allow that injury to, be at least 100%. Do not go into a fight injured. Never, ever. It's worth postponing it and going in there 100% than taking it and making a fool out of yourself. Period.
What have you learned inside the ring that you've used in everyday life?
There's this quote that I learned, I borrowed from my class president back in, her name is Deshonta Phillips, but she used to always say, and it just stuck in my head, and now it's stuck in my soul. If someone says it can't be done, smile and then reply. Maybe it can't, but I won't be the one to say so until I try.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Fredia, we're coming up to the top of the hour, so I have one more question before we close off and wrap up. Would you please share an example of an especially challenging experience which you had to persevere through, and what was learned?
Oh, geez, man. That all started with childhood. Just being in the household with my mom and my dad and his infidelity, and me witnessing that, and
I'm sorry.
Being able to overcome that and move on. That was a challenge within itself.
That was a challenge within itself. Fredia, we have arrived at the end of our time. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your fight career and accomplishments. And I wish you continued success with your radio show.
Thank you very much, Joseph, and I wish you the best as well. Take care. Peace, love, and happiness, everyone. Thanks for listening.
FREDIA amassed a kickboxing record of 16 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, with 15 knockouts. In fact, her only draw came from an exhibition fight with a male opponent. In 1997, FREDIA moved on to the world of professional boxing, in which she achieved a record of 9 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. Listening to my interview with FREDIA Gibbs.
This is Emily from Ladam Reflections. Let us show you the wonderful, colorful new spring lines. Ladam Reflections has entered its 2nd year with the support of all our customers. Whether it's casual Friday or a semi-formal occasion, we can outfit you. We have a wonderful selection of accessories. Come in to see Lisa or I at Ladam Reflections, 119 Garrett Fraxis Street South in Durham. This area's fashion destination will make you look great, so you feel fabulous.
Ethan, would you give me 2 glasses?
In 2017, Freemasonry Worldwide is celebrating its 300th anniversary. Freemasonry in Hanover began in 1894 and is now approaching 125 years of service in the community. As a way of celebrating, the Hanover Masons would like to invite everyone to come and visit the Masonic Lodge on Saturday, June 3rd, anytime from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The lodge is located on Drive-In Road behind Shoppers Drug Mart Mall. Brunch will be available from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Come and tour the facility and view the beautiful lodge room. Members from the Hanover Masonic Lodge and Forest Lodge Chesley will be on hand to greet you and make you feel welcome. Come and learn more about Freemasonry and the good work it does worldwide and in our own community. Rainwater. Why let it run away when you can store it for use in the summer? St. Matthew's Evangelical Lutheran Church in Hanover is partnering with Rain Barrel Canada to bring high-quality, low-cost barrels to Hanover and area. Each barrel holds 55 gallons of fresh, soft rainwater. And for only $55, you get the barrel, leaf and mosquito filter, spigot, tap, overflow hose, and adapter. For details and to order, go to rainbarrel.ca or call Bob at 364-1088. Your barrel will be ready for pickup at the St. Matthew's Yard Sale Saturday, June 3rd. Rainwater. Don't waste it. Use it. Your plants will love it.
This is Mike Lane. I hope you'll join me weekdays from 7 till 10 a.m. for The Breakfast Show. We'll try to keep your mornings light with upbeat music, weather and sports updates, and occasional surprises with special guests opportunity. Why? Because I like good things. That's The Breakfast Show with me, Mike Lane, weekday mornings 7 till 10, right here on 91.3 FM Blue Water Radio.
BWR, Blue Water Radio. Mixing all your favorite music.
Martial Arts World Radio is brought to you by Bruce County Combat and Fitness in Walkerton. Check out the full list of classes at brucecountycombat.com. Martial Arts World Radio is brought to you by Bruce County Combat and Fitness in Walkerton. Check out the full list of classes at brucecountycombat.com.
This is Olivier Brenner. You are listening to Martial Arts World Radio with Joseph Clark.
Welcome to our new web marketing affiliates, Everlast, Century Martial Arts, MMA Warehouse, and UFC Store. Check them out at our website at mawradio.com. Our interview with action cinema fight coordinator and weapons expert Anthony DeLongis is brought to you by ketone specialist Regan Bremersh. Keto OS is leading a modern health revolution through therapeutic ketone technology. Mix this great natural 100% bioidentical ketone powder into a 16-ounce bottle of cold water for a great tasting drink for peak performance. Within 15 to 30 minutes, you'll be in the optimal training and fight state of ketosis. He doesn't just say it can do it, he can prove it. For more information, contact Regan at 1-204-522-0733. Again, he can be texted or called at 1-204-522-0733 or visit proveittoday.ca. That's PRUVIT2 Our next guest has an incredibly extensive resume. Martial artist, weapons expert, cinema fight choreographer, director. As an actor, Anthony DeLongis has had roles in Star Trek Voyager, Battlestar Galactica, Highlander the series, MacGyver, and in films such as Masters of the Universe, Roadhouse, The Sword and the Sorcerer, and many others. He played a swordsman opposite Jet Li in the film Fearless. He gave Harrison Ford extensive bullwhip training for his role as Indiana Jones, and to Michelle Pfeiffer for her role as Catwoman. He has worked with Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Charlton Heston, Tim Burton, Ron Howard, and the list goes on.
Anthony, welcome to Martial Arts World Radio.
Thank you, Joseph.
Now, Anthony, I'm going to begin by looking through some highlights of your resume. Mythbusters helped teach Adam and Jamie how to use a bullwhip to test the Indiana Jones myths. That must have been fun.
Oh, it was a good time. The Indiana Jones story that inspired all of us, particularly Jamie and I. And Jamie had, for a long time wanted to do this, and he made his own bullwhip. Actually, he called me up and said, "Could we do this? Could you swing on a whip?" And I said, "Well, not my whip." But he had gone to David Morgan, who had made whips for the previous film, and learned how to make one, and he had put together quite a good one. And then they had me in to check and see, could you really disarm somebody with, a bullwhip? And yes. Could you really, wrap that around the tree and swing on it to support your weight? If you throw it right, you can get the whip to lock, and yes, it will support your weight. And, they had me back to some high skilled accuracy stuff. Like one of the producers held a wine glass. I cut through it with the whip. The tip of the whip goes 768 miles per hour.
Wow.
And they built break the sound barrier. It dates to 3,000 BC of both the Chinese and Egyptian culture. So it's been one of my passions for a long time.
Deadliest Warrior in 2009, member of Team William Wallace. Tell us about that.
My buddy Dave Baker, who is now starring on Forged in Fire. He's the good-looking judge with the mustache and the vest. He's very fine smith. Former actor who became a wonderful weapons maker. He's been making weapons for me for, probably a good 25 years. He took over at the beginning of season 1 and then was the weapons master for season 2 and season 3. He was making all the historical weapons, many of which hadn't been seen outside of a museum in hundreds of years. And I was the guest expert with William Wallace. They were starting to work with some pretty dangerous weaponry, and they could see the hazards of it, so they went, "We better have somebody who knows what they're doing." And the Wallace sword's over 4 feet long. It's razor sharp on both sides. One of the things I'm proud of, it's on my website, myname.com, Longis.com. On the Swordmaster section, you'll see me cut through. It's 3 heads that are mounted on fork loins. And before the benefit said, "Today, how many of these do we have?" He said, "1." So basically, failure wasn't an option, and I had to ensure the away. And then in season 2 and season 3, my horses were the sharp weapons test horses. Basically, I would rehearse the horses to do what they were going to have to do on set, and make sure that the performers were going to be up to the task where they didn't get to ride my horses with sharp weapons. And so I got to contribute with the show. It was a lot of fun.
Anthony Roadhouse, you worked with Patrick Swayze and I believe Benny the Jet Urquidez, correct?
Yes, I did. Well, Benny is, of course, a legend, and rightly so.
He is.
A master in the ring. He was tapped to train Patrick, and Patrick being a dancer, Benny was very smart. He trained him to music, and then Patrick and I, we got to face off 3-4 times in the film, 3 of which make it into the film. There's one whole fight going on while Sam Elliott is fighting Marshall T, where I'm fighting Patrick right next to Ben Gazzara. But I guess they thought that I got my butt kicked enough, so only 3 of my 4 fights made it into the film.
In the movie The Sword and the Sorcerer, 1982, a barbaric medieval type of film, I remember it. I was amazed when I saw that you were in that.
Yeah, a lot of people are. It was my last audition. I was 32 at the time. Please don't do the math. And I had a good time. They gave me a stick to work with, but at that point I had well over a decade of fencing training, and also I was Taekwondo. When I did Circle of Iron with David Carradine, I was a brown belt, and then I moved on up to red belt before going on to train with Roseanne and Asanta for over a decade.
And you have worked with Harrison Ford, Jet Li, Michelle Pfeiffer, Charlton Heston, Ron Howard, Bo Derek. Give me some more stars you've worked with.
Well, let's see. Richard Chamberlain, I did his Bear Track. Got me my equity card back in '74. I trained him. He did a great job. I've been to Decones about there where they have the famous duel in rhyme that opens the play and basically gives Cyrano his credibility as a swordsman. I'm very proud of that piece of choreography. And fun thing was, we went 11 weeks. He had one little bobble in an early pre-opening performance, and then we just nailed it every night. And then a year went by, and he called me up, and there used to be a show called the Dinah Shore Show. He said, I'm going to be on that. Can we put you in the audience, and you'll come up, and I'll pretend to teach you fencing. And he did, and then we launched into our, very exciting finale with the kill. And I hadn't seen him in a year, and in about 15 minutes of rehearsal, he remembered everything I saw. It was great.
He remembered it all.
I worked with Christian Kane as well. Christian, it was Secondhand Lions, and we'll get very proud of it. I did all these flashback sword actions for that, and wanted to have a Technicolor, Mark of Zorro, Robin Hood sort of feel to it. I can do that. And Christian Kane played the young Robert Duvall in all the flashback scenes. So I trained him, and he did a terrific job himself. And then about 2 years later, he was starring on a show called Leverage, and they wanted to give his character, he was going to be introduced as the muscle, and they needed to show an opponent. Well, basically the story is we are so evenly matched, nobody can get an advantage. So we had this sequence in location kitchen, so we couldn't break anything. And we did double weapons, and he did a bound weapon with a pan off of the stove to defend himself against a knife cleaver. And I had about 45 minutes to put that together, and it was a 5-phrase fight. And we shot it as a master, start to finish every time, which very few people can do in this business. And Christian did terrific. They actually cut it out to go into the show because they were having things happen simultaneously. But we shot it as a master every time.
Anthony, what martial arts styles are you formally trained in?
Well, my first martial art was European fencing. And I had one of the greats, Maestro Ralph Faulkner, Libya. He was the sword master to the stars.